Welcome to the Pitmaster Podcast. We're barbecue competition competitors that aim to share information, advice, tips, and tall tales about our favorite pastime. Head over to thepitmasterpodcast.com for all things Pitmasters, or follow us on your favorite social media platform. And now, here are the hosts of the Pitmaster Podcast, the two-time grand champion, SCA World Champion finalist, and barbecue specialist of Smoke Ain't No Joke Barbecue, the Anthony Lujan, and the 24-time grand and reserve grand champion, reserve world grand champion, Windover High Roller champion, and the founder of Pitmaster Barbecue Supply Company stores in Utah, the old man himself from Big Johnson's Barbecue, Jesse Johnson.
This is Greg Rempe from the Barbecue Central Show, and you are listening to the Pitmasters Podcast, and they are doing it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill. I just said that. They're going to do it live.
We'll do it live.
Yes, live. They're going to do it live.
What's up, Pitmasters? Tonight, we have Ryan Skjerdal, hope I said that correctly, from Cartel BBQ out of Canada, joining us tonight. As you can see, I'm running solo tonight. Jesse had other obligations with his family, which is fantastic. But yeah, I don't have much to say. I don't have anybody to join me tonight, so we're just going to kind of go off the top of our head here. Just in case all you guys didn't listen to us on the podcast, to be able to get in line for the KCBS competition in Vegas, the barbecue jackpot by Christy Vanover, sold out. Yep. You guys didn't listen on Friday. It sold out. So here it is Tuesday. You can join the wait list. So if anybody falls out, you might be able to take their spot. But as of now, 96 spots have sold out. So snooze, you lose. And make sure you go and get signed up for that Death Valley competition. That's going to be happening in October. Utah cooks, if you want to come cook in Utah, there is going to be a cook in Pleasant Grove, Utah next month. Other than that, I haven't heard from you guys at all lately on competitions that are going to be happening. You can send the information in to us, and we're happy to help promote it. Jesse does have that tri-tip competition coming up, as well as his KCBS non-sanctioned event at the RV dealership. So make sure you get signed up for those if you are anywhere on the West Coast to be able to compete in those. But other than that, that's kind of the news we have currently. So yeah, we're just gonna go and talk to Ryan and see what he's been up to and see how he got into competition barbecue. And then also, this is a very weird subject that we're gonna be talking about, but he's pushing to get barbecue in the Olympics. Who knew smoking meats could possibly be an Olympic sport? But we'll talk to him and see what we can figure out about that. So let's go talk to Ryan.
We call it Thermapen 1, the first true 1-second cooking thermometer. Its unprecedented speed means Thermapen 1's responsiveness approaches the speed of thought. Because when you're plating the perfect menu or smoking the perfect side of barbecue, you don't have time to think about how your instant read thermometer is accurate to 0.5 degrees in 1 second or less, or how rugged and waterproof it is, or how big, elegant and bright the backlit display is. You'll just know it works, because our perfection powers your perfection. Seek perfection with Thermapen 1.
Ryan, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Hey, good, Anthony. What's going on tonight?
Not a whole lot, man. We talked a little bit of the pre-show. This is your first podcast. You
Yeah.
got some audio, you got some backdrops. I have a feeling that you're pulling my chain on that a little bit.
No, this is number one. We're in. Well, I'm happy the audio didn't work. We're here. We're making it work, though. This is great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. So, Ryan, let's just jump right into it. How did you get into competition barbecue? Canada is north of the United States, and we thought all barbecue just lives here in America, but obviously it doesn't. We do interviews worldwide. But how did you get into barbecue in Canada?
Well, it's a growing sport, and what's going to be the theme tonight. This is a sport, and I got into about a little over 2 years ago. There was a backyard competition here in Canada. I live in Saskatchewan. I'm sure not many people know where that is. We actually farm on the border of North Dakota, Montana. That's probably the best way to put us. So we're in Saskatchewan. There was a backyard competition here in Weyburn, just bought a Traeger coming out of COVID. Bought a Traeger. Thought let's give it a shot. A buddy of mine was putting it on, so we went in it. And I'm be honest, I'm driving into the gate. I've spent all day clearing out the kitchen of every possible thing I could possibly need. I phoned my wife. I'm like, honey, this is fucking dumb, and she just said, you know what, just have fun, go try it out for the weekend. You'll probably never do it again, so no big deal. And probably one of the only times she's been completely wrong. But I think we got first in brisket, second or third overall. I was hooked, absolutely hooked. So we tried it a few more times. We did our first Master Series about a year and a half ago, and things have just taken off. Basically from there, about a year and a half ago, we got done our first Master Series. We got a call for ribs, middle of the pack. Thought, geez, maybe this is something we can go a little further with. And I was drinking one night. It was in the middle of winter, and I was on Facebook, barbecue buy or sell trailers, whatever it's called. And I seen this trailer. It was a Southern Dimension trailer. It had the Outlaw smoker in the back, fridge, had the full kitchen set up, bunk beds. The front was the Vinos with the bathroom. I was just absolutely in love, and probably the best or worst thing I've ever done is I phoned that guy. His name was Philip Mason with Fallout Barbecue out in South Carolina, and I talked to him for a very long, almost an uncomfortably long time. I think my wife makes jokes about that, but we're just talked barbecue. I just loved it. We flew down to South Carolina, met him, bought this, brought it up to Canada, and we've had a really good run since. So it's been a really good. It's been our tale so far.
That's awesome. So aside from barbecue, I'm just going to take a quick detour just because you said where you were in Canada. Utah just got their first hockey team. Where you're located, are you a Calgary Jets fan, or a Winnipeg Jets fan, or a Calgary Flames fan?
No, I'm a diehard absolute Toronto Maple Leaf fan. Grew up with the Leafs. I am a diehard Leaf fan.
Okay, I just had to. I looked it up on the map and just looked at the territories where the teams are at, and I was like, okay, let's just see what team he is.
I'm a sucker for punishment. I literally have to turn the TV off for about 2 months after the Leafs lose out of the playoffs because I'm so pissed off. I'm just takes me a little while to come back.
Oh man, that's funny. Well, we just got into this. We've been into it for a year, so we'll see what happens next season. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, so buying a trailer, I've always kind of just cooked out of a canopy. I've hauled my grills around and everything like that. But literally, you went from buying a Traeger to a trailer in a matter, what was that time span? A year?
Yeah, about a year or less than a year. It was from October to March. So
man, you went all in 100% there,
I only have one light switch. I'm on or off. I can't do it in between.
Right. And then how many competitions are you cooking a year?
So when we first bought the trailer last year, it was just going to be, let's do 3. And that was kind of it. So the guy bought the trailer from, I actually flew him up to Edmonton for the first cook and kind of show us. I've never cooked on an offset. It was the first time at that Edmonton Ember and Ice competition, and we ended up getting an RGC out of it. And things really got out of control because then all of a sudden the next week there was a comp, wasn't going to go in it. It was, well, we got to do it. We got to run it back. Let's have some fun. And it's just been absolutely addicting. But I love it. I'm quite busy with, we got multiple businesses we run, so plumbing and restoration. So I need something that I can just pull up, I'm ready to go, and take it home. And when the kids go to sleep, I can kind of work on it and not have to haul the whole kitchen out. So that was the only way I could actually make this work, is if I could find a way to do this efficiently. And this is the way.
Yeah, that's awesome. But have you considered coming to the States to cooking some competitions, or are you kind of more or less just trying to stay local? What is your future on trying to
No, we did a few in the States. So like last year we did 7 comps. Actually, my first GC, my cooking partner Ryan Bachmire couldn't make it, so I took me, my wife, and the kids down to Hill City for the cook-off down there, and we ended up GCing that one. So that was our first American cook-off. We actually went to the American Royal this year. We didn't physically put a team in, but kind of how it worked at the end of the season, our chicken was shit all year. Just couldn't figure out chicken. It just pissed me off because I couldn't eat. The only time we ever got a top 10 score was they did a prairie dog, which is they supply the meat for the comp, and it was chicken breast. So that was the only one we ever actually finished in top 10. So I phoned Philip Mason at Fallout Barbecue, and I said, man, I need help. Do you have anyone I could talk to? You know, any courses? And he told me to talk to Bill and Andrea, was it Hand with Triple H Barbecue? So I phoned Bill, and he said, well, I don't normally do this, but he does a course where you cook with him, but he said, I've never had anyone cook with me at the American Royal, but why don't you come on down? So me and Ryan went down there, the other Ryan, my cooking partner, and we went down to Kansas City, and what an experience. I mean, it's just another level. That was unbelievable what we learned from Bill, and him and his wife are just absolutely two amazing people. And from there, we actually cooked in Minnesota in February at Fire on Ice. So that was another American one. So we're right on the border. So where we can, we try to get down to the States because it's everything's close. I'm going to Fargo for their big cook-off here in October, and we're already signed up for the Royal for the Invitational and the Open. So
nice. And
hopefully we get that Jack call, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you sign up for Vegas?
Nope. That's a little fun, but yeah, a little harder on the wallet. It's not just barbecue going down there.
Right, exactly. No,
are you going to Vegas?
I am possibly going to be cooking with somebody down there in Vegas. I'm just getting that locked in, but yeah, that 96 teams in less than, I guess, 48 hours. You know, that's kind of amazing to be able to 96 teams. Sorry, to be able to get that many people.
Didn't it get canceled last year or something?
No, last year she was able to do. I can't remember. It was close to almost 70 teams.
Oh, geez.
And she sold out pretty dang quick. I think that was a 48 hour scenario as well. So this contest is growing fast and quick. So it seems to be one of the largest ones on the West Coast. Yeah, I think the closest one that can probably compete with it is probably the Royal on those west of the Mississippi, right? So it's huge to be able to get that many teams. It's amazing. So
where do they have it?
What's that?
Where do they have it?
They have it in the parking lot of the Bass Pro Shop in Las Vegas.
Really?
So it's a pretty sweet venue. There's hotels right there within walking distance. There's convenience stores right around there. There's food right around there. So you don't ever really have to leave the complex because they have a casino as well. So you can go in there and they have restaurants and everything in there. So it's a pretty solid spot.
That's awesome. Sounds dangerous, but that's awesome.
Right? Yeah, it's fun. You know what's funny is I went down there and cooked in the same parking lot, same promoter, everything. Never even went into the Bass Pro Shop. I was like, I didn't even inside. I was like, I've never been inside of a Bass Pro Shop. It's very similar to a Cabela's. I've been to Cabela's, but I've never been inside of a Bass Pro Shop, especially the one in Vegas, and I failed to do that. So, but it's a great venue. Christy's a great person.
I need to get wings on my trailer because that's a lot of those really good comps are right away. 20 hours, 25 hours from where we live, so it's a hell of a road trip.
Right, I get that. I'm bougie. I don't know if you listen to the podcast very much, but like 4 hours is like 10,000 miles to me. So
we only have one comp in an hour and a half radius anymore. So we've gone to Winnipeg, which is 5.5 hours, and then Alberta just is erupted with competitions. If anyone down there wants to come up to Alberta, I think September. Well, we have one in July in just north of Calgary. There's another one September long in Calgary. Edmonton the week after. Back to Edmonton basically again the week after. I think there's 6 more left in Alberta alone.
Wow,
it's just erupted. Like it's growing up here.
Yeah, is it the promoter that's doing it, or is it different promoters? What do you think sparked that?
I don't know. Like it's always the same. Mostly the same guys. We have some new people coming up, and it's great to see all these new cooks coming up. I mean, we're basically a new team, and I don't know what it is. If it's just enough guys are kind of loving it and willing to travel, and it's just kind of becoming a hobby. Like it's a family up here. I'm sure it's like that down there. Like we love going not just for the cook, but just for visiting with all the guys and the teams, and Friday night out. Like we do it a little bit different. Our comps are on Sundays, or I think most in America isn't it Saturdays.
Okay.
So yeah, usually we get there Friday night, have some beers with everyone, and do some cooking Sunday morning, and good to go.
Oh, that's actually kind of awesome. That way, Sunday would be cool because nobody likes to go to work on a Monday, so you can still work Tuesday through Friday, go to a competition Saturday, Sunday, skip work Monday for the travel day, and get back to work Tuesday. I like that plan.
Yeah.
you American promoters switch your dates from Saturday to Sundays. It's pretty awesome, actually. But we're gonna make the transition here because this is kind of one of the main reasons we're gonna get you on. You called barbecue a food sport, and sports are in the Olympics. So how do the two cross to possibly become an Olympic sport?
Well, first we got to recognize this is a sport. Anyone listening, this is a sport. If you've ever seen, if you ever seen myself in probably one of our Instagram videos, I am absolutely caked top to bottom in sweat. I keep my trailer as hot as it can go. It'll be 110 in my trailer when we're doing hand-ins. And so I like to keep things as hot as possible. But I mean, between the planning, if you go to Webster's Dictionary and look up, if you Google barbecue in Webster's Dictionary, is it the definition of sport? It 100% follows everything that Webster says. So that's kind of the start. Now, the big thing that kind of got me thinking about this, I mean, I'm in business. I don't have a restaurant. I don't do catering or anything like that. So, we go to these competitions, and even if you win it or get close to the top, you don't even hardly break even at the end of the day. So I just got thinking, well, what's the answer? Now, first is obviously having enough teams. We need more and more teams to want to join barbecue. That's the number one, get bigger prize pool. But the second one is sponsorship, and that goes hand in hand with teams. We want to get the excitement. We want to build this up. So that's where, I started emailing KCBS 6 months ago or so, and I never really got a response. And then they had the AGM, and I brought it up again, and I've emailed them since, and nothing. I'm not here to say anything bad about KCBS. Their organization, what they do is, I think, fantastic. Their volunteers they're around. I'm just trying to get the word out to maybe the right person hears this to push the buttons to see what we can do. LA 2028. How exciting would that be to have barbecue at Los Angeles in 2028? I think it would it could spark huge sponsorships. It'd be awesome. I mean, the only thing though, I'm sure the podiums aren't rated for the weight of 4 barbecue guys, but
right.
outside of that, and I mean, obviously it's a long shot. Obviously, it's not something that's even maybe realistic, but let's get the word out. Let's try to see if we can get there, because just getting the excitement. Just imagine the qualifier for trying to get to the Olympics in every country. If you want to grow it in other countries, what that would be, that if you win this barbecue competition, you're going to the Olympics. I could only imagine what that would be like in Canada. I mean, it'd be massive. And I mean, this is down the road thought, but my idea was you could have a competition. It'd be a 2-day competition, Saturday, Sunday, doubleheader. Obviously, most points wins and gets to go, but I'd want to have it in a 2-part sense. You'd have a backyard and you'd have a Masters. The winner of the backyard and that gets to cook with the Masters in the Olympics. Because how else do we get everyone else to come try this out, to have that experience? And that's always the tough thing. Even here in Canada, you do get the top 10, 15 teams are always kind of consistently there, and everyone else, some get good shows, some maybe aren't as consistent. And it's just trying to find, you don't want to see anyone discouraged and just to leave barbecue. And so this is a little bit of a crazy idea to say, let's take this to the next level. What do you think?
All right. So let's go. Let's just break this down.
Yes.
Eligibility criteria. You need to have an international federation. The sport must have an international governing body to recognize it by the IOC. Yeah. So you're putting this all on the KCBS. KCBS does have that global organization body. It is a panel. It is a committee. You do have to be voted in and out. So I agree with you. That's a qualification. Next one is global participation. It says the sport should be widely practiced in at least 75 countries across 4 continents for men and women. So do we know for a fact that we can have at least
We're
75
going to need
countries?
we're going to need to bend the rule a little bit on that one. But let's just say that's a barrier. At least that's a start to show okay, where do we got to get this. I mean, even if it doesn't work out, that's there's opportunity. So that one is definitely a barrier. I mean, I know we're Canada. Where else did we see? They're in Costa Rica. They've had them in, I think, Australia. I'm just thinking of all the teams they mentioned at the Royal last year. There is countries that are doing it, but it's got to grow further.
Right.
I'm sure there's some weird countries that wouldn't want to cook brisket to be goat, but I don't know if they're allowed to do that in our Olympics.
Yeah, I'm not saying my podcast is a big podcast. We have some watchers right now. It's not a huge number of watchers, but this next one is under the eligibility. Popularity. The sport must dominate a significant level of popularity and participation. Judging by my numbers, I don't think the IOC would consider barbecue, especially a barbecue podcast, the part of the Olympics. So I feel like that is one hurdle that, popularity. I think everybody enjoys eating barbecue, but does everybody enjoy cooking it?
Well, I think the one big thing, if you talk to, maybe it's different down there, but if you talk to a lot of people up here and they say, what do you like to do for fun? Oh, I do competition barbecuing. Most people have no idea what that is. Most people don't even know that's a sport. So part of this and part of trying to kind of get the word out there is just to, maybe this hits the news story. Maybe this kind of grows somehow. We got to build it somewhere, and just doing the same old thing won't do it. So this is just an idea of how can we get the word out there. I mean, that'd be. They have breakdancing. If you go look at breakdancing at the Olympics a couple years ago, I don't know if it follows I don't know if breakdancing would follow that same regulation.
They already kicked it out. It's not going to be in the next Olympics.
True.
All righty. So here's another question here. I'm just going. So those are the three major criterias. We don't need to go through application process because you have to have those three to be able to even get it going.
Yeah.
But additional considerations that will follow is event format. The sport must have a clear and fair competition format. So how would we do this to make sure that the judges are clear on their judging abilities?
We don't invite them to a barbecue comp with another team prior because no one thinks they're fair. But I mean, it's no different than figure skating. You got judges that they're judging on their categories. It's not cut and dry, but we do have a sanctioning body that has a cut and dry set of rules. So I think that definitely could fall in where it needs to fall in.
Okay. And here's a hard one, especially for us casual barbecue guys, right? This is a really, really hard one. Just because of what really goes into barbecue, all the ingredients, everything like that. The anti-doping. The sport must adhere to anti-doping code. Man, some of these Olympic athletes are getting stripped of their titles because they took a Sudafed because they had a cold. You think us barbecue guys are going to be able to comply with that? I'm trying to drink a whiskey, the 9/11 shot right before the competition.
I'm pretty sure some of those phosphates are probably on the ban list.
Right. So I'm not against you in any way. I'm just going through the criteria and just hearing your side of the story, and because you're the one who reached out and said, "Hey, I'm doing a big push for this."
Well,
how would you be able to handle that? Because I know damn well that I would not qualify for the anti-doping scenario because I really don't care, man. I go to hip hop concerts. I'm gonna have marijuana in my system after the last concert I went to at Wu-Tang. It's just one of those things, It's like, how would a barbecue guy? I can understand athletes; they're staying in shape, they're working it out, they're doing the gym. But us barbecue guys, we're just hanging out, with our friends, cooking. Yeah, we do take the sport seriously. We do take barbecue very seriously, but there's that weird anti-doping. If I have a cold, man, I'm taking a Sudafed, and if that kicks me off the Olympic team, that sucks.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, and I even said it before, it is a long shot. It's probably a complete farce to think we can do this, but that's not really why I'm going about this to get this out there. At the end of the day, it's like, let's see what we can do. Let's get the word out there and get the excitement. I mean, even just to have somehow pair it together to be like, hey, we're going to do an Olympic event where maybe it's not the Olympics. I'm sure we'd get sued if we started claiming we're the new Olympics if we went side by side with it. But just to maybe that opens up a new type of event that's bigger. At the end of the day, it's right. I'm all about growing the sport and trying to get new people into barbecue. It's not about, at the end of the day, that, I mean, of course, I'd love to go to the Olympics, but at the end of the day, right. it's how do we get more people? How do we get the word out there that competition barbecue is fun? It's not even all about the competition. It's a great thing. I'd love to grow here in Canada and be as big as it is down there. I mean, going down, I've never been to Texas, but I've heard nothing but great things, all the barbecue places, and I would love that up here, but we're not really a barbecue country right now. And that's partly where it's just to get that word out there and be like, look, we want barbecue. I want barbecue. We need more people doing it, and we want to get the excitement.
Right. I am 100% on board with you being able to, make barbecue more popular, more, recognizes, hey, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I feel like Texas is kind of doing that by, the high school competitive teams. They got high school barbecue teams. We talked to a few guests about this before, about, how high schools have these competition teams and they go and compete. They have a national award. They go and do all that. And so I feel like that's the baby step. I feel like as all nations need to come together and maybe recognize, hey, let's start in high school. Let's start these high school teams. And then as high school grows, they want to continue. So then now evolve into a college style competition, right? Then you get the colleges competing against each other. How cool would that be to have, who's the Longhorns? I think they're Texas Longhorns. Yeah. They're based out of Austin, I do believe, and then having them going against Oklahoma, right? Having that be a battle of barbecue competition, right? That'd be kind of cool. But then being able to go on after college, what is college? Maybe we're to the level of, I want to represent Team USA at the American Royal, which other teams, from all over the country, they compete in this international team competition and then go from there. I think those are the steps we need to take before jumping straight in the Olympics. But I think we need to be able to go through those steps kind of like any athlete would, with baseball, football, soccer, softball, things like that. Start at the high school level, move up to college, then being able to hopefully make the international roster where you can represent your country against other competitive countries as well. And then I think we can start maybe thinking about the Olympics. And the reason why I know a little bit about this, some people don't know the story, my full history, but I was part of, actually, I had a magazine featuring pole fitness, pole dancing. I was in the industry when they wanted to make a big push to recognize pole dancing as an Olympic sport. They did a very, very good job of putting together the committees internationally. They did a great job being able to get it. But when it came into the IOC level, it was not there. The IOC did not want to recognize it. They did not have enough foundation, not enough competitions, not enough athletes, and it got shut down. And then I also was into professional foosball, and I watched them try to make a push. I feel like in the 70s, if they would have pushed it in the Olympics in the 70s, it would have happened. But when they decided to make the push, late 90s, early 2000, I feel like it was too late because there wasn't enough competitors. But I do believe that they have the steps to be able to, the competitors, but not the international recognition for Olympic sports. And I feel like foosball is right there with table tennis, right? I feel like it's pretty close. When you play on the professional level, it does take a lot. It's a lot of strategy. It does get kind of exhausting. You are an athlete. You do have to be in good form and fitness to be able to actually really do it. But I just feel like everybody has this idea of their sport going to the Olympics, and it takes a lot to get it there. We lost baseball, we lost softball, we lost breakdancing, but we picked up some cool sports along the way, like kayaking.
I got a question on that because
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I got this right. Maybe it's different in different countries. When you say pole dancing, are you talking like strippers?
Technically, yes, no. No, it's because pole fitness had this craze in the late 2000s where it became a fitness industry and became, this whole thing. And it was more fitness related. And then they started going into the sports of aspects. They had competitions, they had all this stuff. But yes, it did derive from strip dancing.
So if I go to Vegas, I can be like,
yeah.
honey, I'm just watching pole dancing. It's a sport.
Yes, exactly. There
Almost
you go.
like the Olympics.
Yes, and if you go to Vegas, I have a lady down there that I can line you up with, and she can definitely have your back and explain how pole fitness is actually a sport, not stripping if you wanted to. Her name's Fanya, but yeah, so we don't even need to go down the road. I have a lot of great friends that done it.
That's cool.
And they were athletes. Honestly, when I was in it, these women were probably in the best shape of any women that I've ever seen. You go to a pole dancing convention and these girls had abs, biceps, arms, legs. They were just ripped. It was pretty impressive on how shredded these women are, because when you're doing the things that they're doing, holding their body weight, you're just naturally going to just get fit. It's interesting. So, but yes, tell your wife that. That isn't a sport.
I think she's listening, so she's just probably shaking her head back home.
She's like, oh, geez, why do we go down that road? But yeah, so I think going the route of professional, like of sports out of high school and going to the national level of barbecue, I think that is the route we need to focus in on, being able to make it a recognizable sport in our local schooling programs. That's going to be
I don't
great
think
baseline.
I know anyone up here that does that. They could that's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, so Texas, I get from, I totally spaced his name, but he says there's close to 100 schools, high schools, that have these teams, and they get together, and all it takes is one team for each state. So if you're in Utah and you if you're sanctioned through the High School Barbecue Association and you're the only team in Utah, you actually automatically qualify to go compete at nationals. So they take one team from every state.
Oh, okay.
So
I think you guys had Janice from Smellicue on a little bit ago last fall. Her daughter Kate, I think she's 16 or 17 now, but unbelievable cook. She's been cooking for many, many years. She'd probably be that'd be Canada's representation if we get.
How old is she?
I think she's 16 or 17 years old, but she's years.
Yeah, she can get a high school teacher to, be able to find some funds and put together a team. You definitely represent Canada at those high school championships.
Off the buck, I'm sure they'll be at the next comp here in a week and a half, and she's winning top team in at least top 5 team in Canada and she's young, like just unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that's where it starts. I think we just need to bring more of the youth into this sport, and I know Crystal, she's one of our, how do I say this, booking managers. She's our booking manager. That's the word I was looking for the show. I know she wanted to get a team together, and she's really been trying. She's actually been to the level of approaching the school council and trying to push for it. So I think it's just a matter of being able to find people who enjoy barbecue that want to push it to that level and being able to coach a high school team and then push it then they can hopefully take that on to the college.
Well, when we went
down, because I feel like barbecue would be a great place to have a team for, the culinary departments in every college in America and Canada, right?
Yeah.
They have a culinary program. Why not just throw barbecue in there as an extra credit?
That's awesome. When we were down in Hill City, they had we brought the kids and stuff, and they had the kids cook off, and Green Egg brought these little mini green eggs for all the kids. Boy, and that was awesome. That's we need more of that, because that's always a tough thing. You got the big smoker. It's you got to try to find something for the kids to cook on, and
right, so and that's where your school donations come to, and you can reach out to some of these companies and be like, hey, we get some Weber kettles or something along those lines to be able to get these high school kids to start cooking. And then I think that's the path that everybody needs to look at. Let's start with our local high schools and then hopefully they can push it on to, the culinary programs in colleges, and then being able to have colleges compete against each other. And then, maybe that's the next level of Team USA versus, Team Canada, Mexico, and at somewhere like the American Royal, where they can actually, go head to head against that and make it an actual true world championship, right? Being able to have all countries represented in a barbecue. I think that'd be pretty
That'd
badass.
be awesome. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Imagine, what's that?
Are you going to the Royal?
I am not. I'm pretty much retired from KCBS cooking. I'm an undrafted free agent. So if you want me to go cook a category for you, you just reach out to me and we'll figure it out, and I'll go cook a category for you. But I'm done cooking all four meats solo. It's a lot of work, especially I don't know if I'd cook with you, Ryan, because you said you don't turn any air conditioning on your cooler. I'm done. Nope. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the heat. I think you're a little nuts for that, because I understand what you're doing. You're trying to keep everything hot and everything good, but man, I need some good air conditioning, especially inside the
I'll tell you, that beer tastes really good when you're done after. And you walk out of that trailer and it's like, yes.
Nice cold beer. Yeah, I get that for sure. Yeah, man. So what else do you have going on? Obviously, you're competing and you're trying to, take this path. I think you're onto something. It's just a matter of channeling your energy into the correct paths. I don't know if I swayed you. I don't know if you're to give up on it, or you might just maybe and
maybe that's a misunderstanding. I'm not here to. I'm just trying to get the word out to maybe push or maybe get the right person involved. Obviously, I'm not the guy that can do it. It would have to come right from KCBS. So I mean, I'm just trying to get something out there, and maybe spark some interest, and see where it goes, right?
Yeah, and I feel I'm 100%. I got your back 100%. We got to get the youth involved to be able to make these, to keep the sport going for one, and to help grow it as well. Because we've all been to competition barbecues. There's kids running around everywhere. We should be having more kids queues. They're there already. Why won't we just involve them? I'm really disappointed here in Utah that there's no kids queues this year. It's kind of sad that nobody stepped up and did a kids queue at all for the last 2 seasons, actually. So I think that's something that might need to come into play. I don't even know if it's a matter of, the Pitmasters podcast throwing one together. I don't know. So, but yeah, I think the inspiration's in the youth, right? We got to get the kids cooking to be able to grow the sport for sure.
Well, that's what helps for doing more and more comps is like hunting. Up in Canada, everyone takes the kids to, like my son, for example, does 3-4 days a week with hockey. So you gotta go there every weekend. You gotta go to barbecue comp, and she's got to do barbecue. My daughter's got to do barbecue. My son's got to do barbecue. It's just part of the sport. Sorry,
right?
Gotta go.
Exactly. Yeah, and that'd be fun. It'd be really fun. It seems like they have kids competition and everything now. For hell's sakes, I see these dads building up these power wheels, and they're drag racing power wheels for these kids. Like, it's wild, man. So yeah, there's kids riding dirt bikes. I just think it's just a matter of finding. They're doing whatever you're doing anyways. They're not really reaching out saying, "Dad, I want to go to a competition with you," because they kind of get pulled into it too naturally, right? And being able to say, "Hey, you ready to try to cook something?" and being able to, push them to be able to enjoy it versus making them do it as well. So.
No, I love it. That's a great path. I like that.
Yep, exactly. Well, man, is there anything else you want to touch on?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm kind of an ass shutting down this whole, Olympic path, but I'm not against you at all. I just think that they're just the proper channels to make it happen, and it's not going to happen overnight. I think for hell's sakes, it took them like 30 years to get skateboarding in the Olympics, and now that's one of the most sought after sports that people want to watch. It's just a matter of timing with everything when it comes to that stuff. But
at the end of the day, it's a great conversation.
It really is. It really is.
About, right?
Yeah. It would be cool to have professional cooking sports on an international level. I think that's pretty badass.
I love it. No, other than that, like up here, we're just cooking away. I mean, we got a cook coming up in a week and a half up in north of Calgary, and just living our best life up here. It's summertime in Canada, so it's hot. We love it up here when it's hot. It's we'd love to be down there when it's cold, but that's Canada for you.
Dude, it's not cold here. Let's see. Hold on.
We're the coldest part of Canada. We get about minus 50 Fahrenheit at times in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's currently 86 degrees Fahrenheit right now outside at almost 8 p.m. It's hot, man. We're in the 90s down here. It's roasting. So if you're up there in the 80s, I might move to Canada because, man, 100-degree days nonstop is brutal.
I don't think it matters where you go. There's no you like it in the summer, you hate it in the winter. It's
right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I hate shoveling snow. My back isn't ready for snow. I'd have to buy a snow blower, everything else like that.
Actually, where is Utah? I don't even know where Utah is.
It's straight south of you.
Is it?
Yeah. We're straight south of you. So you said you're right above South Dakota. Yeah, we're straight south and just a click over. Because we're just Colorado starts the plains. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, we're not too far from it. I wonder, let's see. Let's do is Google Maps here.
Yeah, Utah. Let's see where this is at.
Yeah.
Maybe I got to come down to a comp down there and come meet you guys.
Right.
Well, you're not too bad. Utah, right there. Look at that. Huh. Hey, not bad. I don't know if I lost you. I can't hear you.
So we're 17 hours, literally almost straight south of you.
Okay, well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad until you're actually driving and you're like, God, this is miserable. What am I thinking?
Well, the way down is always great. Like me and Ryan Bachmire, I cook with. I mean, we go down. We chat, we talk, we got stories. Way back up, maybe a couple hours. You kind of talk about what happened, and then it's just like, oh boy, there's like 15 hours left.
Well,
I'm gonna turn the radio on first.
Well, honestly, I'm looking at this. It's going to take you 20 hours and 37 minutes to get to the Royal. It's actually farther to get to the Royal than it is Utah.
Oh, I don't think if you're looking Weyburn, Saskatchewan, I don't think so. We're about 15, I think.
Are you? Maybe I'm wrong.
I am 1,500 kilometers to Utah, and not that it matters, but yeah.
No, let's just do it. Let's look it up. We're doing it. 1,500 kilometers to Utah, and then how to American Royal?
1638 to the Royal. Yeah, never mind.
See?
There you go.
Yeah, so yeah, come to Utah. We're having a competition in August. So if you want to make it down, we'll be ready to go.
Perfect. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Where can people follow you and, be able to reach out to you and maybe, see if they can put some input to you and to help you along your ventures?
Yeah, follow us on our Instagram, Q_cartel. And, we're always trying to post content on there. I mean, usually when I'm cooking, I'll throw a few things up there. I'm probably not the most active social media guy in the world, but we do got quite a bit of stuff. Our favorite thing to do, we put it on there, and every cook is kind of my trademark thing is the neighbors are looking over in our trailer and open the smoker, and every time it's like, oh, we fucked it.
Got it. Yeah, I got you pulled up here. Yeah, you got a decent following. Yeah, so yeah, go give him a follow and throw some questions at him. Maybe if you want to get into competing in Canada, he can point you in the right directions on how to do that and be able to get to some of these competitions. And then also see if you can find him at the American Royal this year and just say what's up. He don't talk to him during the chicken category. That's the whole reason why he's down there, is to learn how to cook chicken.
I hate chicken.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
This year's been better. It's actually been our most consistent scoring this year, so we've kind of figured it out.
Yep. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, thank you for spending the evening with us and jumping on. And I might want to link back up with you after you go to your American Royal experience, and let's talk about chicken after just seeing what you were possibly doing wrong, what you're possibly doing right, and seeing how to elevate your cooking.
Oh no, we've already cooked with Bill. We already got that course.
Oh, you already got that course.
Yeah, no, we cooked with them last year.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, you're doing this year. Yeah, so then let's really follow up and see if you get a top 10 call, we're talking for sure. But yeah, I would like to follow up on you and just see how you've been doing and just following your path at the American Royal, man.
Sure, we'll keep in touch.
Cool. All righty, man. You have a great evening.
Yeah, good chatting with you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.